ABC 15 breaking news.
Thanks for choosing us. I'm Nohelani Graff in for Kim Tobin. That breaking news, this massive crash involving more than 20 trucks and cars shutting down I17 north of the valley. 17 patients taken to hospitals. And this is a live look from Air 15. Look at that long line of cars. This crash happened in the southbound lanes at Sunset Point. ABC 15's Raquel Cervantes is there live now. Raquel, what is the traffic like on the ground?
Well, no, hey, traffic just got moving. DPS opening up one lane so that traffic can slowly start getting by after people had been sitting here in their cars for more than 3 hours with this massive backup involving 24 cars, including that semi-cattle hauler. And you can see just far back down there that that tow truck is trying to get some of the cars that are still left there damaged. And it is just amazing that there are no fatalities out here. DPS tells us there were 17 patients taken to the hospital. 4 of them had to be flown out of here and 13 by ambulance. Now, DPS says ADOT crews were down here cleaning up signs that they had out from an earlier crash down near New River that caused earlier delays. So cars have been slowing down for crews, but that semi, for an unknown reason, was not able to slow down in time, plowing through a row of cars and continuing about a half-mile down. We spoke with a woman who saw it all happen and rushed to help.
Several of us just got into gear starting to see if they're okay, and then we found medical people and we got first aid kits that we had and just got busy.
And as you can see out here live, that traffic is just starting to get going, moving very slowly, but it is going after people had been waiting for hours, still causing significant delays, though, because that backup had been continuing for hours. We also learned that the Red Cross was also out here to help people who had been stranded in their cars in the sun by providing them water. Back to you, Nohe.
And I know it was no small feat, Raquel, for you and your photographer to get out there and get us that latest information and an up-close look. So thank you for that. Now, that wasn't the only.
It is a problem invading so many valley neighborhoods, and one guy is so frustrated by this, he's actually taken matters into his own hands.
Yeah, at 5, we introduce you to a man who's setting up traps around his property to capture feral cats and then releasing them back into the community. ABC 15's Sodu Wasu talked to people who often work with animals, and they say that's not the way to go.
In these traps, this man has captured more than 400 cats in the last few years. In the last 24 hours, one more wild neighborhood cat captured by Lionel Nowlin.
They spray our tires on the cars. They spray our doors. They claw and scratch at the, at the cage. They scream a lot.
Fed up, Nowlin says the animal shelters won't take them in, so he's taken matters into his own hands, driving the animals 30 to 40 miles down the road, releasing them back out into the community. We informed him the Animal Defense League of Arizona has a successful program to trap, neuter, and release cats.
I have not called them because it would just be easier for me to just load them up in my trunk and just relocate them somewhere else.
Animal advocates not happy to hear that, saying it only makes things worse.
It does make me cringe, and it makes me cringe for a few reasons. First of all, I am worried about the cats, but I'm also worried about the neighborhoods, because if you happen to live in the neighborhood that's 30 or 40 miles down the road, thanks a lot.
Animal advocates have set up a special appointment for Nowlin to bring in his feral cat as early as tomorrow. We've passed on the information to him. For more information on this program, you can go to abc15.com. Back to you.
Caught in the act, 2 people swiping thousands of dollars worth of furniture from front doors, and you could be a victim. ABC 15's Raquel Cervantes is in Phoenix with how neighbors help police crack the case.
It's creepy. We saw some security footage of someone going up on someone's patio and just nonchalant walking up there, picking it up and taking it off.
Several neighbors also saw that surveillance video on their Nextdoor app, an online neighborhood watch tool. And when they did, dozens of others realized they weren't the only victims. One woman even finding her stolen property online. Neighbors are taking notice and taking action.
If you're missing anything, go on Craigslist, swap meet, I heard, and all those offer-up apps.
These sites are helping out police too, tremendously. In this case, leading police to find the pair in this security video, John Norris and Yvonne Romero. Police linking them to about 20 recent cases.
I just had refinished my little antiques. I had my husband chain it up.
Her security cameras and motion-activated lights also helping prevent these crimes of opportunity. Police say no technology will replace officers, but it's helping them investigate lower priority calls.
Having those boots on the ground and people looking in their neighborhood is always going to be important. But the old block watch scheme, as it was first come up with, I believe in like the 70s or 80s, is evolving.
Reporting in North Central Phoenix, Raquel Cervantes, ABC 15 News.
Speaking at ASU, Donald Trump Jr. also sitting down with only one station, the ultimate insider in his father's campaign, revealing the Trump strategy going into these final 12 days.
And Trump Jr. talking exclusively with ABC 15's Faye Fredericks about whether they consider Arizona a must-win state.
Every age group, virtually every ethnicity, on their feet crowding in for a picture or a quick word of encouragement.
It rallies us up. We've seen so much negative media, so much negative energy.
Trump supporter Ariana Drayton rooting for a big win on Election Day.
We're just honestly fed up with D.C. I know we're at the GOP headquarters, but they're fed up with both sides.
Before taking selfies and fielding phone calls from supporters.
Yes, this is Donald Trump Jr. How are you?
Donald Trump's oldest son talking exclusively with ABC 15, fresh off a flight from New York and only a day earlier in D.C. for a ribbon cutting at the family's newest hotel project.
What do you see as the path to 270? And does it have to go through Arizona?
Yeah, I don't know that it's a must-win, but we want to win it like we want to win all the others. So it is a very critical state for us.
He's here to rally supporters and with his visit to ASU try to reach millennials feeling the college tuition student debt squeeze.
These colleges have billion-dollar endowments in many cases, and yet the cost of tuition keeps coming up while they're paying hedge fund managers to manage that money for them so that they can pay themselves a lot more. It doesn't work. I think you have to infuse some common sense, back into the system. And there's so many things wrong with it, but politicians have got us there.
The campaign doesn't believe many of the polls that have them down to rival Hillary Clinton, instead trusting the so-called submarine vote, people who won't publicly say they're pro-Trump, but will vote for him in private on Election Day.
We're not going to stop till the last minute. We don't do that. We don't quit.
Well, Faye's here with us now, and we know Donald Trump coming here this Saturday. Sounds like there's a lot of very big concerns here. We know the Clinton campaign also planning to make another visit before Election Day. Sounds like Arizona's in play.
Yeah, it certainly does, doesn't it? They're putting a lot of resources, the Trump campaign we're talking about now, into our state in these final days, and obviously we've seen the Clinton campaign doing the same in the recent weeks as well. One of the issues the Trump campaign feels they can really connect with Arizonans on is the issue of the Affordable Care Act, Obamacare, and the premiums, how much they're expected to rise in the next year, and their plan to change that.
Yeah, big issue.
Here's what we learned at the juvenile courts today. If you're a parent and DCS has taken your child out of your home, you only have a short amount of time to get it together if you want your kids back.
Judge Colleen McNally presides over a court of second chances.
Parents should have the right to raise their own children as long as they can do it safely.
In a rare interview, she tells ABC 15 what it's like to figure out whether children can be safe at home or whether it's time to revoke a parent's rights.
There's no way to know if you're right or not, 100%.
She gets input from up to a dozen people in the court, lawyers, relatives, and social service workers. Most importantly, she watches the parents' actions.
When somebody's engaged in services and showing up, it tells me that they want this. It doesn't tell me whether they're going to be able to do it or not. So that's something that you keep watching.
Maricopa County has up to 400 new child dependency cases every month. Many involve neglect, drug abuse, or mental health problems. Parents must change quickly to get their second chance, especially with infants and toddlers.
We have to get them in a stable situation where they can bond with a parent or a parental figure. So it's within 6 months of the removal. We have to review and see, does this look like this parent is on the road to reunification, they're almost there or they're there? Or do we have to look at alternatives?
And here's the sad fact in all of this. Judge McNally says in 2/3 of the cases here in the court system that they can't find a way to safely reunite the children with the parents. Back to you.
From that interview, Melissa, what'd you find out?
Right. Well, first of all, Mr. Trump obviously laying some groundwork here, saying that the election was rigged today and at the debate last night as well. Here in Arizona, state election officials responding, saying there is layer after layer of precautions and protections to ensure that no one steals the election. First and foremost, they say that you are required to present proof of citizenship when you go to register to vote. Also, you need to bring ID to the polls. Then there are the election machines themselves. The Secretary of State's office says those machines are not connected to the internet on purpose and that they will be manually tested and zeroed out in the next week or so. Then they get tamper-proof seals on them and they are locked up or monitored by video until Election Day. But if Donald Trump still thinks something was rigged in Arizona, he must act fast.
You have 5 days after the election is over to go to a judge, and you have to convince a judge that you have a cause, and that cause would actually change the outcome of the election. So you have to prove that to a judge.
And of course, all the other states also would have similar processes. He would have to make individual challenges in every state if he wanted to challenge the election results in every state. Back to you.